another reading. This is Mehera-Meher. There's a picture to start off with at Marizod in 63. Courtesy Meheru. Page 333, chapter 140. Light Shines Through is the title. Only a few persons had been able to meet Meher Baba recently, but Baba now announced, health permitting, he would give darshan to his Eastern lovers in Pune in May 1965 and to his Western lovers in Bombay in December. On 11 February 1965, Mehera wrote to Irene, "We have begun our packing. We all hope and pray that Baba will be all right by then, May, and that the darshan program will not be a strain." 11 days later, she wrote, "Only Arnavaz and Khurshid will be here for beloved Baba's birthday this year. We only wish Baba was feeling better. He is having so much pain now in the neck and shoulders. Although he has had this neck trouble for quite some time, he seemed to improve considerably after collar and other treatments by Dr. Ginde, one of the topmost neurosurgeons in India. But recently the pain has started again, worse than ever. Dr. Ginde is so devoted to Baba and offers his service in love and has been driving over from Bombay during the weekends to examine Baba. We pray this treatment will give relief." Before Ginde arrived, an examination table was placed in Mandalay Hall. Ginde advised Baba to sleep with a cushion under his arm as support so his shoulder muscles would not sag. The women made the cushion themselves, as they had for the foot cushion in his room. Ginde suggested daily massages also. Persian Baba lovers from Iran sent a bottle of almond oil, which the women gave to the Mandalay, thinking it would be useful when the men massaged Baba. Baba lay down on the examining table, and one of the men massaged his back with the oil. Baba did not like the oil applied to his feet, as his sandals would become greasy. But he did permit Bao to apply it to his legs while he was seated in the hall. Bao's daughter Sheila often used a small battery-operated handheld massage unit to massage Baba's shins and feet. "Do you think this will cure or help me?" Baba once asked her. "No, it is only allowing you the opportunity of touching my feet." Whenever Sheila and her brother Mehernath visited Meherazad, Baba instructed them to sit near him and massage his feet. This was a problem sometimes, as Peter would be sleeping next to Baba and would not allow the children to usurp his position. "Do you want to see one trick?" Baba asked them. "How we can get Peter to move?" He took a newspaper, put it in Peter's mouth, gestured, "Mani," and off Peter scampered to deliver the paper. And the side note says, Mani had been instructed to tie Peter so the children could sit near Baba. Sheila and Mehernath's mother, Rama, unable to control her tears, usually wept when she saw Baba in the hall. Baba told her to stop crying. and even joked that he would break his glass of water over her head. But Rama's tears continued. Sheila was worried that when they went for lunch inside with Mehera and the ladies, Rama would cry and Mehera might be upset and never invite them again for lunch. She warned her mother about this, and fortunately, at the dining table, it did not happen. Instead, Rama held her food and gazed at Baba, forgetting to eat. Afterwards, when they returned to the men's side, she felt hungry. Often Rama cooked some special dish for Baba and Mehera, such as masala, that is spicy eggplant. When it was brought to the table, Baba joked, "It is only for me. Others should not even look at my plate. Otherwise, I won't be able to digest it." Turning to Mehera, he added, "But I will give you a taste. Don't worry." Mehera was so happy, Sheila remembered. She stood and kissed Baba. When the Kalchuris first began coming for lunch, Mehera, knowing the Hindu tradition of using one hand only for eating, hesitated about using her left hand as well as her right. Sweetly, she asked Rama, "Do you mind if I use both hands to break my chapati?" Rama, surprised at being asked, was unsure how to reply when Sheila piped in. "If the flour is kneaded with both hands, what harm is there in eating the chapati with two hands?" Mehera was relieved, and Baba remarked, "Baby Sheila is very clever. Her mind is sharp, like her father's." Sheila was called by her nickname, Baby, by everyone at Marizot except for Mehera, who always used her given name. When they were having tea, Mehera hesitated again, believing that Rama would be surprised if Mehera drank her tea from her saucer, as she usually did when Rama and Sheila were drinking theirs from cups. Baba asked Mehera, "Why don't you start? Begin." Mehera was signaling Baba with her eyes, wondering whether she should drink from the saucer, as this might not look proper. Baba asked, "Why not? I'd too drink from my saucer." And he poured his tea into his saucer and drank it. Mehera was happy. Now there was no reason to feel shy, as Baba himself was doing it. After lunch, Mehera always removed Baba's plate and spoon and washed it. Each of the other women removed their own plate, washed it, and put it away. Seeing the grown-ups do so, Sheila rose to do the same, but Mehera told her to leave it for the servants. Nevertheless, because the others had done theirs, Sheila washed hers. And the side note says, the men Mandali, too, always washed their own plate. "Good that you washed it," Baba commented. "You take on lakhs, that's hundreds of thousands, of sanskaras from someone if you allow them to clean your plate. Have you ever looked through a microscope how tiny things look? In the same way, there are lakhs of bad sanskaras acquired, which you cannot see when you ask someone else to do such personal work. And how will you spend so many? That is why people are keep taking birth after birth." "What about servants?" Sheila asked. "In their case, you pay them. They are doing it because it is their job. So you do not acquire their bad sanskaras." What about a mother who does things for her child? For a child, it is different. But now you are big. The side note says, for the same reason, Baba told them never to drink from someone else's glass or eat from someone else's plate. Once, when Sheila visited Meherazad, Baba told her that Mastan would eat only after Baba himself had fed him, and he proceeded to demonstrate this. Baba was seated in the living room. Mehera placed Mastan's plate, full of pieces of liver, on the floor, and Mastan was called. Though Mastan loved liver, and any other dog would have gobbled it up, Mastan stood in front of the plate looking at Baba. Baba said, "Watch," and put a few pieces in his palm. Mastan happily licked them up. Only then did Mastan finish the rest in his plate. "See," Baba said. "See," Baba said, "he won't start until I feed him." After Mastan ate from Baba's hand, Mehera went quickly, practically running, from the room and brought a plastic dish, soap, and towel to wash Baba's hand. "Naughty Mastan," she teased. "You made Baba's hand dirty." And she helped Baba wash his hands. Mehera told Sheila, "I'm jealous. Mastan gets food from Baba's hand every day." After any visit to Meherazad, Baba instructed Sheila to write a note to Mehera saying how happy she was to have seen her and expressing her wish to see her again. "Mehera will feel like calling you back soon," Baba told Sheila, "so you can see me more often." In the hall, Baba himself sometimes dictated points for Sheila to mention in her note to Mehera. Baba wanted the Kalchuris to come close to Mehera and understand her role, Meheru explained. He advised them on how to talk with Mehera, what would be of interest to her, and what their relationship with her should be. The children thought he was guiding them for Mehera's sake, little realizing how much Baba was giving them through Mehera when he was allowing them such opportunities to be with her. What a gift he was bestowing on them. While they didn't know it at the time, Baba was helping them come close to Mehera for their own sakes, as anything to do with Mehera was closely connected to Baba. Baba gave them these opportunities with himself and with Mehera, knowing how meaningful it would be for them later on. The side note says, when replying, Mehera dictated points which Mani conveyed to Bao to relay to Sheila. Baba and the women left Meherazad for Pune on 30 March, with Sarosh driving their car. At Guru Prasad, another lovable, intelligent pet was always to be found near Baba's feet. Every morning, when Baba was awake and the night watchman had left his room, Baba rang an electric bell for the women to come inside. Mehera, and the side note says the switch for the bell was on the wall near Baba's bed. Mehera entered first, or at least she tried to. Inevitably, as soon as Mehera opened the door, Pegu, the cat, rushed inside ahead of her. And when Mehera helped Baba to sit up, Pegu rubbed his head on Baba's feet. How fortunate he is, Baba remarked. Every day he is having my darshan. The large darshan program Baba had announced was scheduled to take place after 1 month. As Baba was not exercising and was still weak, it was advised to give him a high protein diet. Guy Mai prepared and sent fried fish for Baba's lunch. When Pegu smelled the fish, he came running near Baba's chair and started meowing. Once before eating, Baba took a piece of fish and started to give it to Pegu on the plush red carpet. Alarmed, Mehera said, Baba, don't put it on the carpet. The smell won't go away. Not on the carpet. Baba said, all right, bring his plate. And the side note says also, Mehera was also concerned that some of Baba's vegetarian Brahmin lovers would not appreciate the smell of fish. So Baba said, all right, bring his plate. Mehera brought it quickly, and Baba placed the fish on the plate. Mehera took it to the kitchen to give Pegu there. This went on every day until the women decided that Baba must eat his fish in peace and not give most of it to the cat. They devised a plan. When the bell rang that Baba was coming, Maheru went in search of Pegu and detained him in the bathroom on a leash, where the cat quietly went to sleep. It had such a gentle nature that it never strained on the leash. One day, Baba smiled and asked, Where's the cat? They answered innocently, Baba, it must be somewhere in the house. After finishing his lunch, Baba told them to bring Pegu. He knew what was going on. Mehera stayed with Baba while Meheru freed the cat. Pegu did not run to Baba. Obediently, he followed Meheru to the dining room. He went near Baba, and Baba gave him some fish on his plate. Mehera was pleased that at last Baba was getting his daily quota of protein. Arnavaz recalled, Baba loved Pegu so much, he told us to pet it. After petting it, we washed our hands, but Baba would encourage us to pet it more. He really loved this cat. Once Baba called it a yogi, and another time a mavali, a rogue. It must be a yogi, either going up or maybe a fallen one, something special. Baba told Mehera that the cat and Mustan had some connection. They will be together in their future births, he disclosed. Pegu and Mastan had never met, so Mehera was surprised. Baba, she said, Pegu is so mischievous and Mastan is so quiet and sweet. How can they be together in the future? Pegu will take advantage of Mastan. He won't, Baba assured her. They will be together. There is some connection between them. Pegu was not the only lucky soul to share Baba's seafood each day. One day at lunch, Baba kept the fish aside, telling Gohar to keep it in his room for later. Gohar knew the reason. You want to give it to Bao, she accused him in his room. Baba told her to keep quiet and leave. He told Sheila to push her out. Don't think Goher can't walk and might fall. Push her. Goher scampered away. Look how fast she runs, Baba declared. She says she can't walk, but just see. Bao entered, and Baba told him, I love you so much. The fish goes in my mouth, but it won't go down my throat because I know how much you love fish. When you eat it, I feel satisfied. Baba caressed Bao's chin and embraced him. Bao sat down and had it, and Baba told Sheila to observe how much he enjoyed it. One evening, Mehera and the other women went to a movie. When they returned at 9 p.m., Goher reported that Baba had not had his fish and had given it to Bao. Did you see him give it to Bao? Mehera asked. Goher admitted that she had not, but she was sure that Baba had. Fortunately, Mehera did not ask Sheila, who was standing nearby. Baba needs protein, Goher said. Goher wanted Mehera to say something to Baba. She knew that if Mehera told Baba to eat his fish every day, Baba would listen. But Mehera said, What do you understand about what Baba needs? He is the creator. But I am a doctor, Goher protested, and he needs to take more protein. Mehera refused to bring up the topic with Baba. Goher tried her best to treat Baba, but it was never easy. She lacked confidence and suffered moments of self-doubt. Sometimes I felt so helpless, she admitted, as I had no other medical person to consult or talk to. Baba wouldn't allow me to talk to anybody. Once, when Dr. Hoshang Barucha was coming for a few days, I was thinking it'll be nice to discuss Baba's health with him. I was keeping up my knowledge of up to date advancements in medicine only through books and periodicals. It's different when you're out in the world practicing. But before Hoshang came, Baba said, You must not, under any circumstances, discuss my health when Hoshang comes to stay here. I used to feel so nervous and anxious all the time, worried about Baba's health. He would not complain much, but I noticed that he wasn't really well. It bothered me. I used to feel, Am I doing the right thing? Baba would tell me to do whatever I thought best. Baba's neck pain persisted at Guru Prasad, and in addition, he began to suffer headaches. Dr. Ginda was called on 9 April and applied a solution called DMSO. The result was disastrous. Baba's skin was extremely sensitive, and his neck and shoulder became inflamed and burned terribly. The entire area blistered. Baba had terrible pain in his neck, Erich declared. Ginda had invented all kinds of collars. Baba didn't like all these things. His neck problem came from bowing down to so many. Even though Ginda told him not to, he bowed down to lepers. Ginda brought a penetrating salve that goes deep to the nerves, and he applied it to Baba. but Baba got a burn from it, and it didn't help. The pain that was in the neck I could bear, Baba told the Mandali, but this burning, it is too much. Mehera and the women were terribly upset. Goher did not know what to do. To take away the heat, someone suggested spreading coconut and castor oil over the area and covering it with tender banana leaves. One by one, the women held the leaves on Baba's back as Baba was seated on his bed. We couldn't tie the leaves on, said Gohar. Baba couldn't turn over on his back or get up at night. What a time we had. Dr. Ginda was summoned again to Guru Prasad, and he applied some lotion. Gradually, the burning went away. It is not your fault, Baba reassured him. I had to undergo this suffering. And a side note said, the use of DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, for medical purposes was outlawed in America in 1965. Years later, it was approved, but only for a very few conditions. Although Ginda was a brilliant neurosurgeon, he could also be arrogant. He was known as the Tiger by his interns. Nevertheless, Baba loved him dearly. Once, Baba was so pleased with him, he said, your name is Ram. Ram is also in your heart, and here you are serving Ram in physical form. Despite Baba's continued physical problems, he gave darshan, as planned, at Guru Prasad for 6 days from 1 May. Afterwards, he continued meeting people informally until he left for Meherazad 2 months later on July 1, July 1 July, on 1 July. It would be the last time Meher Baba gave a public darshan. As always, when visitors came, Meheru stated, Baba, with his warm welcome, reached out to them to bring them closer to him, never allowing them to feel the pain and suffering he went through. He made sure they felt included. His love surrounded them and made them feel special and closely connected. As previously related, according to Bao, before any sahavas or darshan program, Baba suffered intensely, and 1965 was no exception. In 1958, there was vomiting and fever, Bao remembered. Messages were sent, messages were sent that Baba might not come to Meherabad. Then, when he did come, he looked like a rose. People blamed the Mandali for trying to prevent them from meeting Baba. In 1962, also, Baba suffered much before the East-West gathering. In 1965, he could not walk from his room. His legs wouldn't support him, and it was thought he would have to be brought on stage in a wheelchair. It wouldn't look nice, he said, so he tried to walk. As soon as he crossed the threshold to the public, a fresh rose. Bao explained the reason for Baba's intensified suffering during such times. All this suffering was taking on the burden of those who would have his darshan. Before programs, Baba remembered so many of his lovers. He asked about their health, how they would come. Would they travel by train, car, or bus? His remembering them was a means to do his work of taking on their burden, suffering for them. Bao did his night watch duties as usual, but during the 1965 darshan, Baba instructed him to come to his room in the mornings as well. One morning, Baba told him to come back after 5 minutes. Mehera and the other women were inside with Baba, but Bao did not know this. According to Baba's instructions, Bao returned after 5 minutes and opened the door. When he saw Mehera, he ran away. Later, Baba said, "Don't worry, it was not your fault." Darshan started at 8:45 a.m. and lasted until 11. Usually Baba ate breakfast with the women, but during the days of the programs, he ate separately. He would be at the dining table. His food would be served, said Mehera. He was in a hurry. He ate quickly and left. Then we ate. Sometimes he told us to eat with him. Baba put on a sadra with a pink rose garland. He looked so lovely. Before leaving, Baba asked them, "How do I look?" Rano recalled, "Baba looked so sweet when he asked us. He looked tired." I said, "Baba, now you look tired, but it doesn't matter. When you go out to give darshan, you look wonderful." Mehera and the other women were able to watch Baba give darshan in 1965. A stage had been built at the back of Guru Prasad. The women were in the large pantry, which was also used as a kitchen. The pantry had bay windows on which Mehera hung curtains. "I didn't come out," she related, "but I watched from inside, behind the curtains. I could see the back of Baba's neck and his braid." Even though his health was not good, Mehera continued, Baba stood to wave to those in the back who couldn't hear Erich. Can you imagine how tired Baba was to give darshan to so many? Baba was 71 years old in 1965, and he was not keeping well. He was feeling weak. He was perspiring in the summer heat. Yet he sat there and gave darshan to everyone. Thousands came for his darshan at Guru Prasad, and Baba, without saying a word, held their attention. He drew their interest through signs. But how difficult for Baba to do that without speaking. When you speak, you can convey your mind and thoughts quickly. Without saying a word, to hold each one's attention and give love to each one. So much So much feeling and love he had that each one felt love for Baba without Baba saying a word. It was so beautiful. Mani recounted, "At darshan time, we women were always in the background. We experienced the darshan only in the reflection of Baba's lovers' faces. We saw only Baba's back, hair, head, braid, and sadra. When when Baba stood and put up his hand to reach lovers in the furthermost chairs, I was watching from the side bathroom window. It was awesome. I felt drowned." Baba's gestures were so eloquent that Baba would make a little gesture over the head of his lovers, and it was stronger than any spoken word, clear and louder than if you were standing next to a person and hearing him talk. Again and again, we've experienced this. As she said, Mani was behind the bathroom window, directing Barum, who was filming the event. The side note says, During their stay in Pune that summer, Baba and the women twice watched the films Mani had taken at Meherazad the previous year, which included the visit by Adi Jr.'s family. We, the women, did not participate in the darshan as the other lovers did, Mani stated. We were in the wings, backstage. We would see to his needs. Mehera would send out a kerchief for a glass of water. In the midst of the program, Baba turned towards Mani and made a comment about Bal Kishan Bakshi, a lover from Dehradun. Bakshi was dressed in a suit and tie, picking up and arranging chairs for the Darshanites, doing manual labor in his love. Mani was stunned that Baba was even aware of her presence when thousands were in front of him. For me, this act of Baba's was a participation that Baba gave me in the darshan, and it made me realize that Baba is not unaware of any of us. He is with each one all the time, even if we may not think so, or when we may be distracted. Mani continued, we longed for the darshan to be over and Baba to come inside. Baba would change his sadra. Baba told Gohar, see if they've all left Guru Prasad compound. Gohar said, they're leaving, Baba. They're going out. Baba said, go make sure. Gohar left and came back to report that all the Darshanites had left. Baba was not satisfied. Go around back and see if anyone else is still there. Check on all sides. And Gohar had to comply. Only when Baba was sure that everyone had left was he able to relax. Then he would ask, what's for lunch? He turned to Mani and asked, what book are you going to read? Mani noted, those intimate, personal, human moments are so precious. It amazes me how much God comes through as man, how much of Godness you receive through his humanness. It's incredible. So much of his Godness came through his humanness, more than anything else. His spiritual human ways, human acts, conveyed more of his Godness than anything else. He couldn't hide himself. That was so precious. He plays along with us. He plays it so well that you really believe him to be that. Mehera said, mostly Baba would be very tired after darshans. All those years of keeping silence, his hip joint making it so uncomfortable for him to walk. It was a strain on him. Giving darshan for hours, sitting there all the time, giving of himself, smiling to each one. Each one Baba patted, caressed, talked to. Baba even remembered the one sitting at the back, far away. He had to keep his attention and concentration up so much. I know how tired Baba must have been, not to speak and to go through all this. So Baba was very tired after all that. He came inside, washed his hands, and sat for a little while. Then we asked, will you eat just now? Baba said yes, or sometimes he would say, in 5 or 10 minutes, wait. Baba would get a breather. Then we served lunch. When Baba gave darshan in Guru Prasad or other places, Mani reflected, when his lovers gathered, they came with their hearts to bow down, to be with him. Baba said that at times like that, I opened the door of my heart a little bit. As the darshan times came, we could feel it. He said a day would come when he would open more, because not always can we take what he gives us. This story illustrated Mani's point. Once at Guru Prasad, she said, someone came late. Darshan was over. Everyone had gone home. But this man had missed his train. He had come from such a long way, from South India, and was longing to see Baba. Our hearts went out to him, and Baba was persuaded to come to the man's side to meet him. Baba groaned about it. He had to put on his sadra again, as it was summertime. As he was getting ready, he asked where his garland was, the pink garland made of silk flowers. Baba was so worried and anxious about it. I said, Baba, you look beautiful even without the garland. He just wants to have a glimpse of you. What does the garland matter? Later, I remembered. Baba had remarked once that in that darshan radiance, perhaps the lover couldn't take the force of Baba's radiance. The garland would break the force. Oh, how lovely Baba's garland is. To distract one's mind from Baba and his force so one could take what he was giving. If it were unobstructed, unscreened, pure giving out, and focused on him alone, you couldn't take it. Mani continued, Baba is so compassionate that he veils himself. Otherwise, we couldn't take it. His humanness is such a lovely veil that Baba puts on to shield us from the light of his divinity. It's like the expression, blinded by the light. We couldn't take it. He veils himself in order that we not be completely dissolved in that light. Otherwise, the game would end. A visitor once asked, Baba, why don't you reveal yourself now? Baba answered, it is so easy to reveal myself. Concealing myself until you are ready to perceive me is difficult. It is like when one has to pass wind. How easy it is to let it go. It is holding it until the right time that is not only difficult and uncomfortable, but can be painful also. That is my state. The side note says, when Adi Sr. heard Baba's explanation of how it would be so much easier for him if he could reveal himself, just like it being easier to pass gas, but difficult to hold it back until the right time and place, Adi quipped, but with farting, you let it go around your friends. Mani concluded, the most difficult thing for Baba must be not to reveal his divinity, to hide it. The human form could not contain Baba's godness completely and wholly, and his body did not actually hide it. It came through his humanness. God came through so much. Sometimes his sadra seemed to glow. His body was like a garment that covered his divinity, just like a garment that you wear. When it's getting used a lot, when there is a tear in it, it reveals the body. So we found that more often when Baba's body would seem worn out in his love for his creation, for the world, for his lovers, for each of us, that it tears and his divinity would be revealed more clearly than before. For instance, after his second accident, when he looked helpless, his body broken, people who were doubtful and skeptical about his divinity, like the missionaries in Satara, had a glimpse of God through his man form, through that garment. When the body got so frail, when it was weak and it had been broken in accidents, and it was so hard for him to hold it in, and his divinity came through so much more. the light would shine through. Mehera and who's that? With Mustin. Oh, beautiful. This is a good place to stop and pick up next week. On page 343, chapter 141, a lesson from Peter.